What's your ideal language teacher like? Is he or she very methodical and focused on grammar, or more easygoing and prioritizing conversation? Hola, amigos, bienvenidos a Key Spanish. Soy Alejandro, and in today's lesson, we're going to choose or pick a language teacher. This is lesson number 9 of our first unit in this course for beginners here on YouTube. Remember that our goal and the topic of next lesson is to introduce yourself to another language student. But before that, we have to go with John to the language school because if you remember in our previous lesson, John was asking Monica for advice and she told John that going to a school and learning with other students could be a very good step for his Spanish. So that's what he's doing. He goes to a school and asks maybe for more details. And in the school, they tell him that they have 3 different lessons with 3 different teachers: Sergio, Cristina, y Álvaro. Each of these teachers has their own personality and their own preferences. And we're going to hear an audio of them introducing themselves. And you're going to do a comprehension activity. I'm going to start with Sergio, and he is going to share what activities are important for him in the classroom and what aspects of the Hispanic culture are of interest for him. And remember, these 2 topics were covered in previous lessons on this course. If you haven't watched the lessons, make sure to review them, particularly aspects of Hispanic culture, this vocabulary, negocios, naturaleza, gente. We have already worked on it. So now let's listen to the audio.
Me llamo Sergio y soy de Mallorca. En mis clases trabajo mucho la gramática. Creo que conocer bien la gramática del idioma es esencial. Para mí, los negocios son lo más interesante de la cultura hispana. El español se habla en muchos países y es un idioma importante para el comercio internacional. Otro aspecto interesante son los monumentos, como el Machu Picchu en Perú o las pirámides mayas de México.
You just heard Sergio talk about his preferences and interests. Remember that you can pause the video, go back if you need to listen again to the audio. But Sergio is sharing that he believes grammar is important for his lessons. La gramática es muy importante. And he's interested in business, los negocios, y los monumentos, about the Hispanic culture. Monumentos, he mentions Machu Picchu, the Maya pyramids, as 2 examples. So this is a bit about Sergio. Now let's have a look at what Cristina and Álvaro are into and what's important for their lessons. Let's have a listen.
Hola a todos, soy Cristina, soy de Cáceres y en mis clases trabajamos mucho el vocabulario. Aprender vocabulario es fundamental para comunicarse y expresarse con fluidez. Para mí, lo más interesante de la cultura hispana es el arte. Las obras de pintores como Picasso, Velázquez o Frida Kahlo son fascinantes. También disfruto de la naturaleza de España, con sus parques naturales, sus montañas. Es un país precioso.
Yo me llamo Álvaro. También soy profesor en la escuela. Soy de Bilbao y, en mi opinión, para aprender un idioma lo más importante es la conversación. En mis clases practicamos la expresión oral, la conversación la mayor parte del tiempo. Para mí, lo más interesante de la cultura hispana es la comida y la gente. Primero, la comida es increíble. La paella valenciana, los pinchos, el jamón o el vino. Y segundo, la gente en España y Latinoamérica es abierta, hospitalaria y amable.
After listening to the audio, can you tell me what activity is important for Cristina and her lessons and for Álvaro too? Well, Cristina is more interested in vocabulary for her lessons. She believes the vocabulary is the most important thing. Álvaro believes that conversation is the main thing, and that's the focus of his lessons. Then Cristina is more into the art, el arte, la naturaleza, and Álvaro about the people and food, la comida y la gente. Remember that you can listen to the audio again, and I recommend listening first without the captions that we offer here on YouTube, but then after you can take a closer look with the transcription of the audio, with the captions, and focus more on the individual words and understanding the details of it. And for the transcript, as well as the slides of these lessons, previous lessons, and the future lessons we publish as part of the course or the series here on YouTube, you have the lesson notes. Okay, here is the transcript with all of the teachers, where you can listen to it interactively and see exactly what they are saying. You can access these notes for free. You will find the link in the description. And now, before we finish, I have a question for you. We got to know each of the teachers at the school John is going to be attending. And, well, ¿qué profesor prefieres tú? What teacher do you prefer? Sergio, Cristina, Álvaro, you prefer a teacher that's more grammar focused, that believes vocabulary is the key, that is more conversation focused, someone interested in business, in art, in more the people. What kind of teacher is best for you? It's the best fit. And that's something you need to think about as a learner, because getting a tutor at some point or having lessons, it's truly a very good step in your learning journey. And that's why in our beginner kit, in the section of producing output, we not only recommend a place for you to write and get feedback or language exchange app, but you also have an online tutoring service that allows you to get a native speaker, a native tutor, professional teacher anywhere in the world for very affordable prices. You can see here that you can get even a free trial at a website called LanguageTalk. And this is an excellent site, easy to navigate, and you have many options of Spanish teachers from all around the world at, again, very good rates. So if you are interested in that, I will leave a link to this site in the description, as well as to the full beginner kit, where you have a list of resources for complete beginners to get started on the right foot. And I'm really looking forward to hearing what kind of teacher do you prefer and why in the comment section. In the next and final lesson of this unit, we're going to introduce yourself to another language student. Now, John is in the language school, so he will find someone else, and you need to introduce yourself. And you need to use everything you have been learning throughout this unit just to give and ask for personal information, express interest, and talk about the cultural aspects of Hispanic culture that you like and enjoy. Learn why you learn Spanish by giving reasons, as well as talking about the different language activities that you are doing. All of it, we're going to put it into use by having a short conversation and hearing a short conversation with another language student. If you don't want to miss out, make sure to subscribe to our channel and click that notification bell. Soy Alejandro de Key Spanish y nos vemos en clase.